Hello and welcome to the Savvy Gadgetz channel. For all those new subscribers, thanks for joining my channel. I hope you enjoy my videos. But in this particular video, we're looking at Kingdom Come Deliverance. Okay, so for those of you who regularly watch videos from my channel, you might have noticed that I've not been particularly active this year on the video front. And that's simply because I've been spending every spare minute I can get playing this. Now, as you can see from this screenshot, and I know this is just the menu, this is what you see in game, all of these lovely lush plants and buildings, and I am only playing this on low resolution on my laptop, because that's as much as I can pretty much get out of it with a decent frame rate. But running around the game and riding around the game on horseback is quite a thing to do. It's really enjoyable and I'm absolutely loving this game, which is why I've not been so active with making videos this year so far. So, what is Kingdom Come Deliverance about? Okay, so swords and medieval Europe, really, and that sort of jazz. If jazz was invented at that time, I think it was. But yeah, so there's it's sort of feudal Europe. So you have lords who basically look after things, and you have peasants, of which you are one, and you get to play the son of a blacksmith named Henry, and I'll introduce you to the character in a minute. The game contains a lot of. It's an 18 rated game, let me just put that straight out there, and there's very good reason for that. The dialogue contains an awful lot of swearing, there is nudity and scenes of sex, obviously there's violence and drug abuse and devil worship and racism. So yes, it's a very 18 rated game, so if you're not 18, you shouldn't be playing it. And although there's nothing going to be 18 rated in this video, you have been warned. Okay, so let's get in there and take a look at it. Okay, so this is the main inventory screen, and as you can see, this handsome geezer on the right here is Henry, and this is the person you play throughout the entire game. You can't change that, you can't change sex, you are Henry and that is it. Okay, but there are some very important bits and pieces of information this screen tells you. So, one of the things that you need to take care of with Henry is eat. He needs to eat and he needs to sleep. If you don't do those, his energy levels will drop, his stamina will be terrible, his health will go down, and he will just, generally not function as a person as you would expect. And that is generally governed by the nourishment there. Now, as you can see over the top here, there is the time. The current time is 10:45 in the morning, and you can see the zenith of the sun, and then obviously night time is down there somewhere. Okay, so as you can see, books play an important part in the game. Books you can read and they will help you overall with your speech, but they will also give you attributes to skills in the game, so they will increase your so this one says who needs a key, so we press Q on it and it adds a skill on your opening locks, so it's for the lock picking skill, funnily enough. So, speaking of skills, if we go onto the player tab, you have stats, combats, and skills, and you have various other bits. I've not even looked at these other three tabs throughout the entire game. But as you play the game, as you perform actions, you will gain experience in those things. So the more you pickpocket, the more your pickpocketing skill goes up. So pickpocketing, so I haven't done a lot of that, but I'm building on it. And as you gain experience and go up the levels, you get what are called perk points. Now, as you can see with my pickpocketing, I have item expert and pocket sight. So if I press Q, it gives you a breakdown of what that particular skill does. So reveal stats for half the items of pickpocketing and victim burst. Now, that would give you an idea of what the items are, and pocket sight immediately reveals an item in the user's inventory. Now, if you wanted to buy one of these, provided you've got a perk point on these, you can then, as these unlock at certain levels, so you see these two, they're not unlocked at the moment. They unlock at level 10, and I would dearly like both of them because they just make life so much easier. So this one immediately reveals 3 of the items in the pockets inventory. Okay, one of the other ones I'd really like is the movement cursor in the, and you'll see this. I will show you pickpocketing, I will show you alchemy, I will show you haggling, and you'll see what I mean about how slow the cursor is when you're actually pickpocketing. So that's a good one to have, and the item expert and pocket sights are pretty good. Take a look at the others by all means. Let's see, one of the other skills which is quite useful to have is I think it's under herbalism or alchemy maybe. No, it must be under stats. It's not going to be under combat. Vitality. No. You see there's all sorts of different perks here to increase your strength and this, that and the other. Speech is another good one to have. Where is it? It's not under combat. If you see, get rid of the Q menu, you can see that I've basically gone for swords here, and in defence, obviously sword and shield. So that sort of thing. So as you use a sword, again you gain experience in using the sword. You can unlock different perks. You can see I've got 2, and each one of these is a sort of combat manoeuvre. So when you're in combat with someone, you get this sort of reticle come up, and where you see it's coloured in red is the direction you're going to attack from. So that's the left button attack, whereas if it's in the middle, like this one, that's a right click. It's a stabbing attack rather than a slashing attack. Combat in the game is really quite good. It's difficult. It's not a foregone conclusion that you're going to actually make a successful attack. It takes time and does take some practice, which is what makes it really cool. Now, okay, so alchemy, drinking, yeah, drinking. See, stealth is something that I've taken up a lot in. As you can see, I do a lot of stealthy. Just sort of building on my pickpocketing, lock picking. I've got master thief. It's one of the top levels. Hunting, which is part of the bow skills. Horsemanship, you can ride horses around in the game. Otherwise, it takes ages. I seem to remember somewhere, although I can't for the love of God remember where. Oh, there it is. It's on the main level. First aid. First aid is a really useful one to pick up because there are various times when you're talking to people that it will come up with the ability to offer a first aid solution. So if someone goes, "Oh, I'm feeling really ill." That's okay. I know alchemy. I can make you a potion for that, or I can bandage you. That kind of thing. It just offers you a different option when you're playing through the game. If you don't want to do that, you want to go down a different route, it's entirely up to you. So, obviously you have a horse, and now here's an interesting point about the horse. It doesn't matter where your horse is in the world, ever. You can still transfer things from your inventory to your horse, as it says here, move the horse. It doesn't care. Your horse could be on the other side of the map where you left it. You will always be able to transfer to your horse. You're in a building, the horse is outside. Doesn't matter. You can still transfer things to your horse. Okay, so obviously you have a quest log and then maps and codexes. Okay, so let's go back to our inventory, and we're a bit naked at the moment, as you can see. So let's. The dagger's quite an important point to make, actually. Whilst I'm here, if you're sort of stealthing around. When you initially start doing incursions into bandit camps, and you're clearing the bandit camps out, you can do it in a couple of different ways. You can either go in and pickpocket the camp leader for his item and then take it back and say, hey look, I've cleared out that bandit camp, or you can effectively kill everyone, which is what I did. Now, initially what you get as an option is to knock them out. You can't kill them, you can't stealth kill them. You can do that later when you have the skill to knock these down. On the stealth, you've got takedown. Lets you knock people out from a crouching position, so you need to do that, and stealth kill. So you will need to pick those up in order to get those options when people are asleep, and you'll see them come up when I show you pickpocketing. Right, so anyway, inventory, let's get some weapons going. But in order to do a stealth takedown, you have to, or a stealth kill, you have to have a dagger in your inventory. It just has to be in your inventory, it doesn't have to be equipped. So double click and everything goes onto the right slot. Look, get different sorts of arrows and different sorts of bows and skills. You need to have different levels of strength, so minimum strength 15, minimum agility 10. So if you don't have those, then you won't be able to use the bow effectively. Right, so armour. So you've got padded coifs, some trousers, spurs, a chainmail, gloves, plate leggings, and arm plates, a useless necklace that doesn't seem to do anything, a chest guard, a gambeson which helps stop sort of slashing, and then obviously a proper helmet. Now, as you can see here, look, silent shoes. Dark clothing matters. When you're doing stealthy stuff, you cannot do it in armour. You have to be as effective as you can. You have to change your clothing accordingly. So be aware of that, and we will do that later on. Okay. So, but I've managed to do it barefooted and just wearing a padded coif. Now I'll show you the difference between this one, which is a defense 9, and this one, which is a defense 11. Not much of a difference, but still every little bit helps. Okay, so food, obviously as you pick up food you just eat it, but food goes off. So you can't keep food in your inventory forever, it will just go mouldy, and then it will just poison you, which is wonderful. Right, so on with the game. So if we go to the map, when you start the game, as you see, I love the graphics in this game. Look at it. It's very oldie worldy because it is set in sort of feudal Europe. So you start up here in the town of Skalitz, where you live with your mother and father, and you're the son of the blacksmith. So your father is the blacksmith, and it's kind of like the tutorial area where you initially learn bartering and initially learn sword fighting and quest completion. But you get pushed out of Skalitz and you end up where I am now, all the way down here at this mill, and as you can see you have these various sort of bits around here. We've got this to say that's actually these sort of blue symbols, these ones, the Rattay upper gate. That's a fast travel point. So when you uncover these locations, you can just go, I want to go there, and it will just move the character through the map for you, and you will end up there. Okay, so here we are in game. There's my horse. And this is where the game really starts and opens up the world for you. And as you can see, the map in itself is quite big. If we go out, it will take you quite a while to walk or even ride around this map. So it is a decent sized map. Not the biggest, certainly, but it's still plenty enough of play area for the game. I would have liked to have seen other maps, but maybe in a later version, maybe in further DLCs. So, but this is where you start, and this guy, he's the first person, he's the miller.
Hey, lad!
Yes,
Don't
hello.
you want a little wager on the Rattay tourney?
Not at the moment, thank you. But this is where you start, this is where you learn pickpocketing to start off with, and the millers in the game are like the fences. They're like, you bring them stolen goods and they'll get rid of them for you. So, okay, so let's go and do some haggling. Okay, so I've just ridden on my horse just up the road into the town of Rattay, and Rattay is the sort of biggest major town. Everything is here. This is where just about if you can get it, you get it here in Rattay. So there you do go other places, but they don't have the kind of amenities. They don't have armour smiths, swordsmiths, cobblers. There's a tailor here, scribe, taverns, combat arenas, archery, smithies, the huntsman, that kind of thing. So it's all here in Rattay. And when I clean somewhere out like a bandit camp, this is where I come to sell my goods, because the merchants are richer here. They have more money to give to you. Whereas in other places, you'll go, hey, I've got this £200 piece of armour that I want to sell you. And they'll go, great, I've only got 80 groschen to give you. So you're out of money. So this is by far the best place to come and sell your wares. It's a bit of a pain in the neck, to be honest. But anyway. Haggling. Okay, so dive into the armour smith. And we talk to the armour smith. Now, the game is dialogue driven in this way.
Come to me.
So you get options, and depending on your speech levels or how butch and hard you look, you get to choose different options when you're talking to people. So I need to get some repairs done. Now, I could repair these myself by buying an armour kit and then applying the armour kit to different pieces of armour that they repair, and I would get skill points in my maintenance skill for that. But for the sake of haggling, what I'm just going to select all of these, as they all need repair, and that's going to cost me a grand total of 65 groschen. And groschen, if you haven't realised, is the in-game currency. It's just a decimal system like any other. So we can from there just say, hey, yeah, 65 groschen's absolutely fine, or we can haggle. And haggling depends on your speech skill. So, here we go.
Let's have a word about the price.
Well, we can try it.
Okay, so, the way haggling works. Now this bar that's cropped up on the right hand side sometimes turns up on the left. But Henry is always at the bottom. So, whether you're trying to get money off something or get more money from the trader, you're always going down, which is quite confusing, because you'd think that if you wanted more money you'd go up when you're selling something. But either way, so let's knock it down. I've got quite a good speech level, so I'm going to knock it down to about halfway. Actually, I'll go a little bit more, be a bit cheeky.
Henry,
What do you say to this?
And he might just say flat out, no, I'm not interested
That's a
in
poor
that.
offer.
Oh, it's a poor offer. Oh, but he's not so unhappy with it that he's not going to sort of counter it. So I'm just going to knock it up to sort of midway point. And then say make another offer. Now you might only get to make a couple of offers before the trader, and he's accepted that. And I've gained some reputation. And I've got paid a little bit less for my repairs. And that's generally how haggling works throughout the game. Now, as I said, when you're trying to sell items, You still want to bring that bar down, but it's actually increasing the amount of money you're going to get from the trader. And if you're clearing out a bandit camp, then you may be picking up quite a few different items worth several hundred, and then when you try and sell them it might be worth several thousand. That haggling skill can earn you quite a bit more extra money. Okay, so that's haggling. Okay, so on to alchemy. Right, okay, so I'm still in Rattay, main square. You're looking for that kind of a sign. And this is the apothecary.
I'll be with you, Henry.
Yes, could be with you as well. So, right. This guy will sell you herbs and already made potions. And if you've already started training in alchemy, he will also sell you books on recipes. And they are not cheap. Some of the ones that you really want are very expensive, as you can see. So what's that one? So that one allows you to change all your skill stats. What's that 500 one? So that's a health potion, basically. It revitalises the body. But he will sell you all of these and you learn them, but then you actually have to brew them yourself. And in order to right, okay, so I could go through that door and enrage the shop guard for trespassing, so I'm just going to dive out around the back here to the alchemy bench. Now the herbs in game you can gather yourself. They're all over the place, but some grow in specific places. So, alchemy. Step up to the alchemy bench and you have to look at this book. This book will tell you all of the potions that you have learnt. Now, there's an important little caveat on the right here. You've got the option to auto brew. You do not get to auto brew unless you pick up the perk called routine. Once you have routine perk and once you've brewed a potion, you will get the option to auto brew. So this one I haven't actually done yet. So what we will do is we'll move through to probably the most important potion in the game, Saviour Schnapps. Now, this is an interesting game mechanic. It's a bit of a terrible one as well, but you are not able to save the game where you want, whenever you want, unless you have one of these in your inventory. Now, the game will save if you save and quit, or it will save if you go to bed and go, sleep and save. Or the game will save when you complete a quest. But unless you have one of these in your inventory, and it does get used up when you do save, so you will need multiple ones, you will not be able to save the game at any point. So, what we need to do is we actually need to brew one of these things, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, what you have on the left is the method, and what you have on the right is the ingredients. So Venum in this case refers to the wine, and then you have nettle and belladonna. Now you need the ingredients, i.e. the nettle and the belladonna, in your inventory, and if you do, you get the option to prepare. And what this does is it puts the ingredients up there on the shelf, these two bags just here. Right, so we need to have a quick look at the methodology, and the methodology says prepare some wine, 2 handfuls of belladonna and 1 of nettle. Boil the nettles for 2 turns. Grind the belladonna, drop the belladonna and boil for 1 more turn. Okay. So, that was 1 nettle. So, we need vinos up. Here we've got water, wine, oil and spirits, but we need wine. So you take the wine and pour it in the cauldron. And then what we do is we take a nettle, one nettle, and we lay it in the cauldron. Right, so we then say boil nettles for 2 turns. So, oh, hello, I just swapped over to the, so we have the cauldron, we have nettles in the cauldron, so we need to press Q to boil. So it's now boiling and we boil for 2 turns. So 2 turns of the hourglass. In the meantime, we need belladonna in the water and more belladonna in the water. And it's stopped boiling, so let's continue the boiling. And another turn of the hourglass. And grind. Put the belladonna in. Boil it again. One more turn. And then when that same glass runs out, we use a file and we use it on the cauldron. And hopefully that should give us a savoury snaps if I've done it right. Yay! I've successfully brewed a savoury snaps. So now, when I press escape, I now have the option to save the game. And that's what that potion does. And it's probably one of the most important potions in the game. If you're like me and you save an awful lot. However, as your skill in alchemy grows, you will get the option to buy a perk. Go to the player tab and skills and go to alchemy routine. It says you can now auto brew potions. And further down, when auto brewing, routine 2, you will produce 3 potions for the price of 1. So, let's go back to the alchemy. And as I've only got routine 1, what we do is we go over here. As you see, these ones I don't have auto brew on, but this one I have because I've already made it once. And then I just press F, and if I've got the ingredients in here, I've now brewed another savoury schnapps and I haven't had to redo it. So, that's alchemy, and each potion is different, so be careful of that. Let's move on to some juicy pickpocketing and stealth. Okay, so stealth and pickpocketing. Okay, so this is quite an enjoyable game mechanic. First off, it's night time, which is great. However, when you're walking around at night time, you should see everyone's holding a torch, and that is the law. Now, if you're not holding a torch when it becomes dark, then the guards will come up to you and say, "Hey, you haven't got a torch. You must be doing something sneaky." At which point they will try and arrest you and charge you 10 groschen for it. And you can either try and strong arm them or fight them, get thrown in jail, or you can just pay them, basically. So be aware of that. Right, okay, so you need to go and pickpocket somebody. They may have a quest item that you need, or you might just be doing it for fun. Who knows? But you need to be dressed for the occasion. So let's go over here, because no one minds you getting undressed or dressed in the middle of the street, really. So I think the armour smith has something that I want. I'm going to. Oh, I can't get through that door. It's very hard. My pickpocketing, my lockpicking isn't that good yet. Alright, okay, so let's go for the swordsmith. I'm still working on that. I can't quite get through very hard locks yet. Can do hard, but not very hard. Okay, so let's go down here. There's the swordsmith. Nothing to see here. Right, okay, so we're at the forge. Right, no guards about, so let's get rid of the torch. So just double click it and get rid of it. Instead I'll add my sheep. Okay, so as I said, we need to be dressed for it, which means no armour. Now I'm going to show you the difference between the padded coif and the other padded coif that I have. Right, so let's get rid of the spurs, anything sort of metallic that jangles and makes noise. It doesn't matter that it's in your inventory, but I'm going to put on the silent shoes. Now the important point to watch here is noise. This bit down here, it currently says 3. I'm going to put the silent shoes on. Now that hasn't changed the noise level, but has changed my visibility and conspicuousness. Now if I could, and I haven't come across one here, I haven't really needed to or haven't bothered, but I haven't found a dark shirt to wear. But it hasn't hampered me in the game so far, and I've had to do a couple of stealthy missions. So, as you can see, I'm wearing a dark padded coif. It's 11 defense rating, which means it's better than this one. However, if I wear this one, my noise goes down by 3, and I don't understand that because they're both made of cloth. But anyway, be careful. What you wear will arouse people. So what you want to do is you then want to press C and crouch, and you are now stealthy. And there you are, a perk has been activated. So I'm crouching called Crouching Chameleon. It makes me less visible. So we'll just take a quick look at that perk. Under skills, under stealth, and Crouching Chameleon. When crouching without movement, you get a 30% stealth bonus. But I am very stealthy. So let's stealth our way around. And doing this increases your stealth, but you have to do it near people. So first things off is lock picking. I have to lock pick this door. Now obviously you need lock picks in your inventory, but you start by pressing E and holding it. Now you have to find where the, well, there it is, where the centre of that ring is big and gold, and then you have to go press D to rotate the lock and rotate that circle with it, and that's on the mouse. So there we go, and that will have given me some experience in lock picking. That works for doors and chests. So I'm now in a private area. I'm now officially trespassing. So once again, there's food if you need food on the pot. That's open, so I don't really care about that now. At this point you think, oh right, let's go into the shop and steal all the stuff from the shop. Unfortunately the shop is empty, so you're stuffed. All that stuff just disappears. So let's go upstairs and go stealthy. Right, as you can see. See, there's a chest there, lockpick easy. And now, here you can see I'm getting different options for what I want to do. Now, I can either stealth kill him, because I've got the perk and I've got a dagger in my inventory. I can knock them out, which basically, puts their hand out the mouths and puts them to sleep for a little while. Or I can pickpocket them. So, pickpocketing is quite a different mechanic. There are 3 distinct phases to it. The first is you're sort of rummaging around in their purse, kind of thing, in their inventory basically, and you're trying to build up as much time as you can before the person that you're pickpocketing realises that that's what you're doing. So there will be a circle with a count up timer, which would be in green, and if it starts going red, then you're getting to the point where they're suspecting that's what you're trying to steal from them, basically. Then when that bit's over, another bit comes up which shows you items that you can steal, and they will originally, unless you have item sight or pocket sight, show you what those items are, or they will be hidden from you. So let's give this a go. If you get caught, then you can either do a runner and get caught by the guards or not. Right, so first phase, press and hold. So, oh, that's not good. Let's go there. Oh, we'll nick some bread. There we go, successful. It was that quick. Oh, when he's woken up. That's not good. Time to run away. Stealthily run away. Now, no swords have appeared, so he didn't notice me, which was lucky. I got away with it. So now I've stolen some bread. Not a major crime. However, let's go to the food because it's bread. You can see that it's got like a red hand by it. Means it's stolen. So if the guards come up to me, and they do every now and again, come up to you and say, "We suspect you've been stealing. Let's have a look at what you've got on you." If you have items on you that are marked as stolen, then they will find you on the spot, or they will throw you in jail, depending on what it is. So, two ways to deal with this. If it's an item like this that's bread, you just eat it. There you are, it's gone. The other thing is, if it's like an actual item like armory, swords, jewellery, you can go and sell it at the miller. There are several millers around that they act as fences, basically, and they will fence stolen goods for you. And there it is. Stealth, lock picking and pickpocketing, all in one. So, let's wrap this up. Okay, so one of the things that intrigued me the most about Kingdom Come Deliverance was the archery side of it. Now, I've actually managed to do quite well in melee combat with a bow by just basically backing off and then shooting people. That seems to work okay to a degree. You still take a bit of a battering, but I've survived more encounters by doing that than actually going at them with a sword. So, I'm here at the archery range in Rattay, and you get to it through a hole in the wall over there. And I'm going to show you why it intrigues me the most. So I have a bow and I have some arrows, but unlike other games where you have archery, you have like a reticle to say this is where your arrow is going to end up. In Kingdom Come Deliverance, you haven't got one of those, so you kind of have to guess it. So, going to eyeball it just about, and his hands are all over the place. There. And that was a bit of weight. Over there, I think. Let's go and have a look. Let's do a couple of shots. And the longer you hold it, the more his hand shakes. About there. So it's all guesswork, which makes it that much more harder. So let's bring it down to what? About there. Oh, that was a total miss. So you can see it's not the easiest of things to do. And they're all up in there in the grey. I didn't even get a single black, which is the highest scoring area. Now the nice thing is the more you practice, the better your bow skill gets. Oh, that one's broken. That's a swan. But no, look, nettles. If you ever needed nettles, that was a dangerous place to be. But what you do is you can say, hey look, ordinary arrow, I can take that. So you can reclaim your arrows if you really wanted to. Usually if you go hunting and you shoot a deer or a rabbit, and the rabbits are a swine to hit, they are really difficult. You can reclaim your arrow. Or if you've missed, you can sometimes pick them up off the ground, or sometimes like that one, they become broken. Okay, so that's archery. And so let's move on. There's my horse. To food. Right, so food you can buy from traders, or you can steal, or you can, go poaching. Unless you're the huntsmaster, in which case it isn't poaching. Or you can invade people's houses, usually the taverns is what I do. Or you find in various camps pots like this. Now Rattay has loads of these. At the other end of Rattay there are 3 pots. There's one outside the wall, one inside the wall, and one under the bridge. And you just basically go up to them and say, right, I'm going to eat that. And they are, you've been fed. Job done. So, although you have to feed Henry, it's not something that's, it's going to be a major problem. But you do have to look after him in that respect. So, okay, cool. Let's wrap this video up. So we've covered haggling, alchemy, lock-picking and stealth, and pickpocketing, demonstrated archery, and covered stolen items and how to feed yourself. So that's quite a good tutorial all in all. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you found this video interesting, useful, informative, but most of all I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye.